This is the Notification to Activate Services form, or NASF for short, which is used for the purposes of engaging framework members to access goods or services. This video has been developed for public sector bodies to demonstrate how to fill out the relevant sections in order to engage the services and/or solutions of framework members on Lot 3 of the OGP's PEPL Networking and E-Invoicing framework. Once the relevant sections have been filled out and signed, the public sector body returns the NASF to the OGP sourcing team, who will complete the remaining sections and send on to the contractor. The contractor will complete the form and return a signed copy to OGP sourcing, who will forward a final signed version to the public sector body. For the purposes of this video, the services and solutions chosen are those which will enable basic compliance with the E-Invoicing Directive only. This video will briefly explain each section of the form to support you in understanding how to fill out the NASF, where you are looking to engage services and solutions which will enable your organisation to achieve basic compliance with the European Directive on E-Invoicing. If you are looking to achieve more than just basic compliance, you will need to select from the range of services and solutions as detailed in the Framework RFT. Lot 3 of this PEPL Networking and E-Invoicing framework works on the basis of a cascade mechanism, which means that when you complete this form and return it to the OGP sourcing team, they will send it to the first ranked framework member. The framework member will have 4 business days to respond before the OGP sourcing team can refer the NASF to the second ranked framework member, and so on. As a result, this section detailing the contractor's name and date will be completed by the OGP sourcing team. Public sector bodies do not need to fill out this section. This section informs the OGP sourcing team and the contractor of the name of the public sector body, the framework client, who is looking to engage their services or solutions through this framework. Please insert the name of your organisation here. This is the date from which you would like to activate the services, from when you want to start working with or drawing down the services with the contractor. Please ensure you fill in the relevant date. Simply for illustrative purposes, we have chosen the following date. Part A of the NASF needs to be filled out in full by the organisation engaging the services or solutions, the framework client, as detailed in the above paragraph. Please insert the relevant date when filling out the form. Please fill in the name of the contact person in your organisation, usually the authorized signatory officer, with the approval to call off these services. Please fill in a contact email address for the contact person. OGP sourcing will fill in this section. Therefore, public sector bodies do not need to fill out this section. This is the section where you indicate your organisation's specific service or solution requirements as per the services detailed in the RFT. For the purposes of this sample NASF, the requirements include services to reach basic compliance with the European Directive on E-Invoicing as follows. If you would like additional services, such as training, you can choose the consultancy services as detailed in the RFT. Additionally, if your organisation is adopting a more integrated approach to e-invoicing, you will need to insert the relevant services as detailed in the RFT. Sections 1 to 3 should be completed with your organisation's Data Protection Officer and should provide details relating to the relevant information that would be contained in an e-invoice, as well as the nature and purpose of the processing of information to inform the contractor. As answers might differ across the various public sector bodies, depending on the type of information being processed, this video will not provide sample information here. However, an indication of the type of information public sector bodies should consider is outlined here. Again, as explained, information in sections 2 and 3 will be specific to each public sector body, and these sections should be completed with the organisation's Data Protection Officer. Please insert here the date of expiry of the contract. In other words, the end of the term of agreement, and the maximum period of extensions of the term, and the maximum number of such extensions. The detail shown here on this video is an example of the type of information that could be provided in this section. This section, to be filled out by the framework client, details the services and/or solutions your organisation is looking to access by engaging the contractor. So similar to the PEPL networking and e-invoicing requirements section above, please list the relevant services. As mentioned already, this video is taking basic compliance services and/or solutions as the example, and you will see the form populate the 5 services and/or solutions to achieve basic compliance with the E-Invoicing Directive. As before, if you would like any additional services, including training, they should be included here. For reference, the RFT includes the wide variety of services available under this framework. The process for engagement on Lot 3 is a cascade mechanism. Therefore, once this NASF is completed and returned to the OGP sourcing team, they will forward it to the first ranked framework member, who will have 4 days to return the completed and signed NASF to the OGP. If they do not return the NASF, OGP sourcing will issue the NASF to the second framework member, and so on. Therefore, at this point, the prices for these specific services and/or solutions cannot be filled out. Please leave the prices and total cost blank to be filled in by the contractor. In this section of the NASF, can you please insert the electronic signature of the person in your organisation responsible for this contract? You should type the person's first and last name, tick the box, and insert the electronic signature, as being demonstrated in this video. Part B of this NASF is to be filled in by the contractor. Public sector bodies are not required to fill in this section. Please skip to the next section. Schedule A of the NASF is the confidentiality agreement, which is required between the client and contractor. Please insert the date of the year when you are filling out this form. As above, please fill in the name of your organisation. The contractor will fill in this line of the NASF. Public sector bodies are not required to fill this out. The rest of this section of the NASF explains the terms and conditions of the confidentiality agreement. Schedule A and B and 1 through 2 and including 11 below. Please read this section carefully. We have reached the end of the confidentiality agreement, and this section of the NASF requires wet signatures from both parties. Public sector bodies should only concern themselves with the left-hand side of the table. The right-hand side is for the contractor to sign. Public sector bodies should provide the wet signature of the authorised officer for this NASF agreement. Electronic signatures are not permitted for this section of the document. The wet signature of a person witnessing the authorised officer sign the box above should be signed here. If you have reached this point in the NASF and filled out all the relevant sections above as per the description and examples provided in this video, you are now ready to send the NASF to the OGP sourcing team. Finally, this section is for the contractor to complete and not necessary for the framework client. Thank you for taking the time out to view this video. If you found this video demonstration helpful or have any feedback for the E-Invoicing Ireland team, please contact us at einvoicing@ogp.gov.ie.